5,000 years ago, someone buried a warning beneath the earth, not a myth, not a prayer, a warning deep beneath the deserts of ancient Mesopotamia. Archaeologists uncovered a shattered clay tablet covered in symbols so disturbing, some researchers refused to continue translating it. The inscription described 7 gates descending beneath the world, 7 sealed passages, 7 levels of death. And according to the text, something waited behind the final gate that humanity was never meant to find. But what truly terrified historians was discovered directly underneath the excavation site itself. Because beneath the ruins, archaeologists found 7 underground chambers aligned in the exact same sequence, carved into the tablet, 7 gates descending into darkness, as though the ancient inscription was never mythology at all, but a map. And in the deepest chamber, carved into blackened stone older than recorded history, one sentence appeared again and again. The 7th gate must never open. But according to some interpretations of the tablets, already had the cradle of civilization. That is what historians call ancient Sumer. The first cities, the first kings, the first written language, human civilization itself seemed to awaken between the rivers of Mesopotamia nearly 6,000 years ago. But beneath the achievements of the Sumerians lay something darker, because hidden among their thousands of clay tablets were stories that did not read like myths. They read like memories. Accounts of beings descending from the heavens. Descriptions of catastrophic floods, ancient rituals meant to seal the gates below, and warnings about places beneath the earth where humans were forbidden to go. Most scholars dismiss these texts as symbolic religious stories. Until the discovery in southern Iraq changed everything, the excavation site was located near the ruins of an ancient ceremonial complex buried beneath layers of ash and collapsed stone. At first, the structure seemed ordinary. But then workers uncovered a staircase, steep, descending deep underground. The deeper archaeologists explored, the stranger the site became. The walls inside the tunnels were smooth, almost melted. Black scorch marks covered the stone despite no evidence of fire, and strange symbols began appearing across the walls. Circular patterns, geometric seals, figures standing beside enormous doorways. None of it matched known Sumerian art. But the real mystery began when researchers discovered the clay tablet sealed inside a hidden chamber near the entrance. The artifact was fractured into several pieces, yet enough of the inscription survived to reveal something horrifying. The tablet described 7 gates leading into what the Sumerians called Kur, the world beneath the earth, the realm of the dead, but this was no ordinary underworld mythology. Each gate contained instructions, warnings, descriptions of rituals required before passage. And according to the text, each gate stripped something away from those who entered. The first gate removed identity, the second removed memory, the third removed fear, the fourth removed desire. The fifth removed language, the sixth removed the soul itself. And beyond the 7th gate, tablet became fragmented and unreadable, almost as if the ending had been intentionally destroyed, but one line survived. The watcher beneath the 7th gate must remain sleeping. Who was the watcher? The tablet never explained, but what researchers discovered next was even stranger as translation efforts continued. Historians noticed the sequence of gates described on the tablet perfectly matched the underground structure itself. 7 chambers, each deeper than the last, each separated by massive stone thresholds resembling sealed entrances. It was not symbolic. It was architectural. The tablet was describing a real location. The deeper chambers revealed carvings unlike anything previously discovered in Mesopotamian archaeology, towering humanoid figures with hollow eyes. Winged entities descending from circular objects in the sky, human figures kneeling before enormous black doorways. And then came the discovery that terrified the excavation team. Inside the 4th chamber, archaeologists found human skeletons arranged in a perfect circle around the entrance to the 5th gate. Every skeleton faced outward, as though they had died trying to escape something deeper inside. No signs of violence, no weapons, no collapse. Just bodies frozen in terror. Some reports claim the skulls showed expressions of extreme fear despite thousands of years underground. But the strangest detail was found carved into the floor beneath them. A repeated symbol resembling an eye inside a descending spiral. The same symbol appeared beside the warning on the tablet. The 7th gate must never open. As news of the discovery spread quietly through academic circles, theories began emerging. Some believed the gates represented spiritual initiation rituals connected to death and rebirth. Others believed the structure was part of an ancient religious cult obsessed with the underworld. But a smaller group of researchers proposed something far more disturbing. What if the Sumerians were not describing an afterlife at all? What if the gates were meant to contain something real? Because buried within other Sumerian texts were references to beings known as the Galu, dark entities associated with the underworld, described not as spirits, not as watchers, guardians, things that waited beneath the earth. Ancient texts claim these beings could move between worlds through sacred gates opened during certain celestial alignments. Most historians dismiss the stories as mythology, until astronomers noticed something impossible. The layout of the underground chambers aligned precisely with specific star positions visible over Mesopotamia nearly 5,000 years ago. The gates were astronomical, a map connected to the sky itself. And according to the alignment calculations, the final configuration would occur again in the modern era. Suddenly, the tablet no longer sounded ancient. It sounded predictive. Then came the disappearances. According to rumors surrounding the excavation, several workers abandoned the site after reporting strange sounds deep within the lower tunnels, whispers, metallic vibrations, footsteps echoing beneath the chambers despite no one being there. One translator reportedly suffered severe psychological breakdowns during the study of the inscriptions. In his private journal, later leaked online decades afterward, he wrote something chilling. These were not prayers to the gods above. These were warnings about something below. Then he disappeared from the project entirely. No official explanation was ever released, but the most unsettling discovery had yet to come. In the sixth chamber, hidden behind collapsed stone, archaeologists uncovered a black doorway unlike anything else in the structure. The stone surrounding it appeared melted, not carved, melted, as though exposed to heat beyond anything available in the ancient world. No inscriptions surrounded the doorway. No decoration, only a single line carved above the entrance. The final seal remains closed while the stars sleep. Behind the doorway was darkness, damsel darkness. The chamber beyond seemed to continue far deeper underground than the rest of the structure, but according to fragmented reports, the expedition never fully explored it. Official records from the excavation abruptly ended shortly afterward. No complete photographs of the lower chambers were ever publicly released, and several recovered artifacts vanished into private archives. That disappearance only fueled the mystery further, because across the ancient world, stories of seven gates appear again and again in Babylonian texts, in Egyptian funerary rituals, in ancient Persian mythology, even in later religious traditions describing descending levels beneath the earth, always seven, always sealed, always connected to judgment or forbidden knowledge, coincidence, or fragments of something far older than civilization itself. Some alternative historians believe the Sumerians inherited knowledge from an earlier forgotten civilization destroyed long before recorded history began, a civilization that understood astronomy, sacred geometry, and catastrophic cycles far beyond what should have been possible at the time. According to this theory, the gates were not symbolic entrances to the afterlife. They were containment systems constructed after some ancient disaster humanity no longer remembers. And the watcher described on the tablet was not supernatural and biological, something ancient, something imprisoned. Then researchers noticed another disturbing detail. The symbols surrounding the seventh gate resembled no known Sumerian script, but they did resemble mathematical geometric ratios found in modern resonance studies, wave patterns, frequency alignments, acoustic structures, almost as if the gate itself was designed to respond to sound or vibration. Suddenly, the idea of opening the gate took on an entirely different meaning. What if it was never locked physically? What if it was sealed through resonance? And what would happen if that resonance changed? Ancient civilizations across the world often describe sound as a force capable of moving stone, opening sacred spaces, or communicating with the gods. The Sumerians themselves believed creation began through divine vibration, words spoken into existence. Could the seven gates have operated through similar principles? Some researchers think so, because inside the lower chambers, strange acoustic effects were reportedly observed. Whispers carried unnaturally across long distances. Footsteps echoed in impossible directions, and certain tones produced vibrations through the stone walls themselves, almost as if the structure were still functioning. Then came perhaps the most terrifying interpretation of all. According to one incomplete translation fragment, the seventh gate was not designed to keep humans out. It was designed to keep something in. And the six gates before it were safeguards, layers of containment, barriers meant to weaken whatever slept below before it could reach the surface. If true, the ritual passages described on the tablet were not spiritual transformations. They were security procedures, instructions for anyone forced to descend. By this point, the story had already moved far beyond conventional archaeology. The tablet became surrounded by rumors of government interest, restricted archives, and missing excavation materials. Most mainstream historians rejected the theories entirely. But the mystery refused to disappear. Because no one could explain the underground structure, no one could explain the melted stone, and no one could explain why the final chamber was never fully documented. Then satellite imaging decades later revealed something even stranger. The buried complex extended far beyond the original excavation, miles beyond it, an enormous underground network hidden beneath the desert, most of it still unexplored. And according to some geological surveys, portions of the tunnels descend far deeper than ancient humans should have been capable of constructing. What were the Sumerians building beneath the earth? Why were so many chambers intentionally sealed? And why did ancient texts repeatedly describe the danger of opening them? Perhaps the answer lies in humanity's oldest fear, that beneath civilization, beneath history, beneath the ground itself, something ancient still waits, watching us sleeping. Listening, because throughout history, nearly every civilization carried legends about forbidden places underground. The Greeks spoke of Tartarus, the Hebrews described the abyss, the Maya told stories of Xibalba, and the Sumerians warned of 7 descending gates beneath the earth, different cultures, different continents, yet somehow same idea, as though humanity inherited a memory far older than written history itself, a memory of something below. And maybe that is why the final line of the tablet feels so unsettling even now. Not because it sounds mythical, but because it sounds urgent. The 7th gate must never open, not should, not may, must. As if the warning was meant for people far beyond the ancient world, people living now, people approaching something they do not yet understand, and perhaps the most terrifying possibility is this: what if the Sumerians were never warning us about the past? What if they were warning us about the future? Because somewhere beneath the deserts of Mesopotamia, 7th gate may still exist, buried, sealed, waiting. And if the ancient tablet was telling the truth, then whatever sleeps beyond it was never meant to be found.